Let me read to you a passage from the 13th chapter of St. Matthew's Gospel, verses 54 to 58. It's the Gospel for Friday of the 17th week in Ordinary Time. St. Matthew writes, "Coming to his hometown, Jesus began teaching the people in their synagogue, and they were amazed. 'Where did this man get this wisdom and these miraculous powers?' they asked. 'Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother's name Mary, and aren't his brothers James, Joseph, Simon and Jude? Are not all his sisters with us? Where then did this man get all these things?' And they took offense at him. But Jesus said to them, 'Only in his hometown and in his own house is a prophet without honor.' And he did not do many miracles there because of their lack of faith." That's from Matthew chapter 13, verses 54 to 58. What does it suggest to us? Well, it speaks of the decision to believe. What do I mean? Well, our Lord had grown up there. His hometown of Nazareth must have been dear to his heart, as having such long-standing human associations. Its synagogue he had frequented. Many of them had been his childhood companions. He had worked on their homes, their tools, and their furniture. He had gone to the feasts in their company. Doubtlessly, they admired him for his exceptional human qualities and his manifest spiritual life. When John the Baptist was approached by our Lord for baptism, he said to Jesus that he, John, ought to be baptized by him. It suggests that Christ's holiness was evident during the years prior to his public ministry. At the same time, our Lord was fully integrated into his family and his community. He was not a being apart, above and beyond them, but was very much one of them. From the baptism of John, he had launched into his public ministry, marked by authoritative teaching, miracles, and manifest holiness. He attracted vast crowds and many disciples. And so our Lord returned to his home, hoping that they, knowing this, would receive his mission and his claims in faith. And their faith would open the door to the blessings he wished to bestow on them. But they did not believe his word. In fact, they took offense at him. He was an upstart, and the result was, as we read, that he did not do many miracles there because of their lack of faith. Let us consider the lack of faith in Jesus of his own townsmen. The fact is that there had been abundant indications of the truth of his claims prior to his return, and they knew of them. There were his miracles. He had healed the sick, raised the dead, cast out devils, calmed storms, fed thousands. Furthermore, there was his wisdom, which they mentioned. He was an outstanding religious teacher, a prophet of the first order, and dominated any debate brought on by his enemies, the religious leaders. He reduced the Sadducees to silence, and no one could better him. There were very good reasons to believe in him, and a right conscience would indicate the duty of faith. Yes, there were very good grounds for belief in him, and they were aware of them. Where did the man get this wisdom and these miraculous powers, they asked. Isn't this the carpenter's son? Where then did this man get all these things? What they lacked in facing these manifest reasons for belief, his miracles and wisdom, was a willing heart. They discovered themselves to be unwilling. Hence their mind turned to, by evil choice, to other factors. That he was but one of themselves. That he was but the person they had known all along. That it was impossible that the Messiah should come from within their own midst. Their will refused to accept the call of their conscience to believe, based on the good grounds manifestly before them. Instead, their unwilling heart grasped at other considerations and gave to them all the weight of likelihood. So they refused to believe and cut themselves off by their lack of faith from receiving the blessings our Lord intended for them. Our gospel passage today shows the unwillingness of the people of Nazareth, and it is this unwillingness which cut themselves off from the blessings offered by Jesus Christ. Faith requires a willing heart. There are excellent reasons to believe, but the will must decide to believe. Faith cannot be reduced simply to a conclusion of the reason and nothing more, because there are always other so-called reasons which a man may choose to regard as justifying non-belief. A man may be aware of the grounds for belief, as the townspeople of Nazareth were aware of the wisdom and miracles our Lord had displayed throughout Judea and Galilee prior to his return among them. But he is free to choose other so-called reasons apart from those good ones before him, reasons for withholding belief. His motive for doing so may be his own pride, and this would seem to have been the case with the people of Nazareth. Their pride did not permit them to acknowledge the lordship of Jesus of Nazareth, their own townsman and companion. After all, he was no more than they. He had a hide, as we might now say. The refusal to believe on the part of the people of Nazareth shows the power of the fallen heart of man to vitiate and avoid the excellent reasons for believing in Jesus Christ. He had shown remarkable wisdom and miraculous powers to heal and restore. But no, after all, he was just one of us, a mere Nazarene, no more than our companion and acquaintance. Lurking behind this choice stood the hidden menace of pride. They were proud, so they would not believe. As Cardinal Newman often wrote, sin is at the root of unbelief. It must be renounced if we are to accept and profess faith in Jesus Christ.